Hello, clan. This is Aries again. I'd go ahead and kind of buckle in and get yourself a snack or something you like to drink. This is gonna be a long video. Not really gonna skirt around that, but this is also probably gonna be my last video, and I'm sorry about that. Just a lot of things have come up. That's gonna take a long time. So, but I did want to leave you off on a good one. So instead of kind of critiquing everybody's attacks, I know some people put some up there. I'm not gonna be able to get to them, sorry. But I do feel that this video is gonna be a good one for it's probably one of the best meta attacks right now, in my opinion. So this one probably will be more for high level town halls. But it'll help small, people who have lower town halls, what to work towards. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into it without further ado. So, and since this one is mine, I'm not covering up any names, although I'll be bringing, a few other people in it, and sorry. So, what we're gonna start out with is, I want you to see, so this attack actually is well known on the internet, and so sorry, Fred, you're chosen. But it's not your skill of attack or anything like that, so I feel like this is fine. This is just your base layout. It's just using you at your base, and just showing the attack somebody did on it. So anyways, this is the attack. So basically, like I've alluded to in some of my other videos, I like the balloons and healers combo. We'll go ahead and explain that here in a bit. We're going to have the Root Riders. Actually, I'm not going to explain their army. This is roughly the same. And I've actually seen some of our clan use this attack, and they have, some of them didn't succeed on it. And I was kind of bummed. When I clicked on it, I seen this attack, and I was like, oh yeah, excellent, they're using it, but why did they only get 1 star, maybe 2 stars or whatever? And so as I watched it go along, I could see some issues. So the attack you're going to find on the internet is going to be, I think a lot of people are familiar with this. You're going to use your Royal Champion, and they're going to come in wherever they put them. I'll explain what I do here in a bit. And they pair the Royal Champion with the Invisibility Fox. I don't remember what it's called, but you get what I'm talking about. I don't do this. They also use a recall spell. I don't use that either. But we're going to do a real quick show of the basic attack. Now this one, what this guy or gal's doing is really good. But notice right there, he got hit slightly, or she, I'm sorry if I'm going to use he a lot. So, but this individual got hit a lot, or for a second. Now what I'm seeing with what you guys are struggling with, some people, and when I started this attack, what I struggled with is the pathing and the Royal Champion taking damage. I'm going to help alleviate where damage really doesn't matter to a degree. This one you have to play perfectly. With mine you don't have to, and I still think mine is just as powerful. So this is kind of pointless. But anyways, I'm just giving you a brief example of what we're looking at here. This is the common attack off the start, using the Royal Champion, using the invisibility spells. Now think of it this way in theory with me. So if you missed a few invisibility spells, and your Royal Champion took some damage, and you hit this recall spell, you're recalling a Royal Champion that may have 20% health, okay? Let's say your Royal Champion took a lot of damage, and now, your invisibility spells ran out, and it's time to use the recall spell, which is what this individual is going to do here in a second. Then when you go deploy the Royal Champion again, you're deploying a troop that has only 20% health. And the Royal Champion already is a glass cannon. The Royal Champion is not a troop, a hero that is very tanky, okay? If she can continue, she does a lot of damage. She's a formidable force. But if she, if placed in the wrong spot or with 20% health, she's going to die immediately and serve no purpose. So yeah, this is what this person does, recalls it. Now they did really well, and that's the ideal version, sure. They recalled it. The Royal Champion had full health. And the perk of this, I will say, is you can redeploy your Royal Champion practically anywhere. Now let's swap to mine, and I'll show you how I've worked with that. I didn't like it, and I actually think the way I do it is much more optimal. So we will start with the first war, and see, that was quick and painless. I won't be using anybody else as an example. But I just needed your base, Fred. Somebody was attacking it, so. Okay, we'll use the first war of this season 7. I'm sorry, it's escaping me. But anyways, the whole team was freaking hard, I'll say that. So let's go ahead and look at this, and we'll check out my attack. I don't really like to use this one necessarily, but notice that most of the time I'm actually further down on the team to attack or whatever, and that's because I kind of sandbag my other base and I make the game easier for me. But I still can attack very high, so this is absolutely an end-game attack that I can't show. This base does not have, I think, really any overcharged weapon systems. It is fully maxed out. It's obviously a war, so nothing's under construction. It probably has CC troops, but I'll show you one later on where I 3-star an overcharged base as well. Sorry, first off, I have pretty much the same setup, and let's just go troop by troop, hero by hero, gear, the whole shebang. I use 3 balloons because I'll put the balloons out and you'll see they're going to eat the air mines to save my healers, which means I have 4 healers. I use 8 root riders as a kind of tanky, kind of the bulk of the cream of my crop. The meat and potatoes of my army, if you will. They have decent health, and they just run over walls, so I don't really have to worry about walls anymore. I have 2 minions. The minions are simply cleanup because, as some of you may know, which is why I only stick with 6 invisibility spells. You don't need to conquer the whole base with the Royal Champion. It's not worth it, and you're going to run into time issues. But even still, I'm going to be launching my Royal Champion here in a second, and it does eat time. I think if anybody's used this attack, they do understand it eats time. So you need a couple minions to be able to put them on something that got left behind that's obviously not a weapon system, and that way they can start working down that they're very worth the time value. 8 Valkyries, they do extreme damage. You keep them alive, they're going to work the whole base. They swing in a 360-degree circle. They're great. 1 tank, and if you want to recall back to some of my one of my other videos, I believe I explained breaking the base down to 3 quadrants, tanking, your meat and potatoes, your army, your niche troops, funneling, all those fundamentals. And I'll mention them briefly in this one as well, but I'm specifically going over this attack. But you'll see my fundamentals work, but this isn't a fundamental video. So the tank, so that way, because you're one of your most vulnerable moments is when you're deploying your troops. You need to build up momentum. You need your army out so it can start doing that tug of war. It can start putting down more damage than it's taking. And that's why you have the balloons to eat up anything that's going to hit your healers. And you have the ice golem to eat up any shots while you're trying to get everything down. And I love the eject button where it takes a lot of damage, and if it falls too quick, it's also going to freeze most everything and also alleviate some of that damage you're taking while your troops are at their most vulnerable point. A headhunter, I think, is really good because it's the niche troop I'm talking about. That, and forgive me, I should have done my research. I actually never looked at what this troop is called. Yeah, so it's like a miniature Grand Warden is what I'm going to refer to it as. But the Headhunter will do, I think, 3 times damage to heroes, and heroes can be a pain. And so I think it's a really good investment for a Headhunter to sit in the middle of the bulk of your army and be able to take down a hero pretty quick. Same thing with, again, I'm going to refer to it from now on as the miniature Grand Warden because I'm not going to redo this video. What it does is it has a roar around it that gives, I think it's 25 or 26% more health. So everything, the base, one of the fundamentals of this army is that the army is going to be pretty much staying together. So we want everybody together. So they're going to be in the roar of this troop, and so everybody's going to have 25% more health, 25, 26. That's just it's high value for the low housing cost of this troop. So we're going to put one of them. We're going to have the and I'm sorry, I'm seeing next. I need to learn these names. This is the siege equipment that basically you drop it out of the air and it lets out P.E.K.K.A.s and your CC troops. Can't remember what it's called. Don't really care. That's the one you're going to need for this attack. My king is going to run the earthquake boots and the soccer ball, and I'll explain why here in a minute. He's going to run with Diggy. The queen is going to have the mirror, so to replicate your queen into, and put out 2 other queens, and the healers to put out 3 healers. She's going to run with the spirit fox, okay? Not the royal champion. Oh yeah, I can't get that. Sorry. The Grand Warden is going to be running with these tomes. Lord, I think one is the Rage tome, because believe it or not, the army's slow. We're trying to get through these weapon systems that's dealing high damage. We don't want to stay there very long. So I really think the Rage one is very high value. It's dangerous because generally I think people run with the Warden, the healing tome along with the invincibility one. That way they're taking all this damage. They can stop the damage immediately and heal up. I don't really take that chance. I think this one is the healing one. Sorry for not doing my research well. But at the end of this, you will understand this attack. Yeah, so the Rage one, because the Root Riders is a bulkier army. They're very slow. They need to be scooting along faster. They're very formidable if they can scoot along faster, which is what this is going to do. Your Root Rider is a very important part of your attack. So the Rage tome, and then I think this is the healing one, I believe. So I'm actually gambling without the invincibility one. You can change that up a little bit. I haven't really played around with that. I still think that would be a good use, is the invincibility and the healing one. I would suggest this, however, because Root Riders, I think it's an untapped resource for them to be much faster. Their damage and their ability is exponential. The Warden is so important to the attack, to the healing and the health and the rage. It's a spell that lasts the entire game. He needs to be healed. So I have the unicorn on him. He sits back a little bit. The unicorn sits back a little bit, so it works nicely. I know they generally pair the unicorn up with the queen because the queen is a ranged attacker, and therefore the unicorn is back far enough out of damage. Unicorn on the Warden's great too. It's back far without damage. Royal Champion. She's the star of our attack, although I really caution you to take that to heart. Everything in here, there's like, the troops are important, the heroes are important, the champions count on our own and important, and the spells are important as well. So do not value one over the other. You're not going to be able to win if you do. But she does lead off the attack and looks like the star. Anyway, she has the speed up vial. I don't know. So basically when her health drops to nil, she regenerates maybe 20-30% health, and then she starts throwing her spear faster. Again, you can laugh at, correct me along for whatever these things are called. The electric boots is very much non-negotiable. You need the electric boots. I really think both of these are non-negotiable, and I'll explain why here in a bit. And she's going to be paired up with the Phoenix, okay? And I'll explain why in a minute. You're going to have 2 rage, 2 ice, 6 invisibility, and then you're going to have a revive spell. So I know I've laid a lot on you right now. Let's recap a little bit the difference between what most people do on the internet versus what I do. The Royal Champion is going to have the Phoenix, not the invisibility fox, or the spirit fox, sorry. And we're not going to have a recall spell. We're going to have a revive spell, okay? So let's go ahead and watch this a little bit. Let's try to get this out of here real quick. Okay, so very typical. I wouldn't say my pathing's very well on this, which shows that it's still very powerful. I would say, however, what you want to do is when you drop her, I would pick a spot where you obviously see a lot of high defenses. I picked this spot because I thought this is a very strong Archer tower. That's a very strong Inferno tower, and the cannon's strong. I actually probably could have had her down here because I know this weapon system's pretty powerful too. I don't even have it yet, so it wasn't at the forefront of my mind. But put her where she's going to get a lot of value. So right now, as you can see, okay, her health, well, it's kind of hard to see. Her health is at about 15 to 20%. So even I didn't do the ideal, keep her so protected that she gets recalled at 100%. This is where I feel this part is so much more better than the other ones. Everybody trying to do this attack, they get their royal champion out there and they're so worried about taking care of it, they forget about everything else. If you watch my other videos, I always say simplicity. You're dealing with too much crap already as it is, and humans, regardless of what you think, are not, we're not good at multitasking, okay? That's been proven. So for the more, entry-level people, I always say rage and freeze for gas and stop. In this one, we're going to go ahead and basically use the revive spell because she's already hurt, and because I didn't protect her well, my whole attack would be busted in a sense because I didn't recall her at 100% health. But again, no worry, I'm not worried about that. So she's sitting here at 15-20% health. What are we going to do next? She has the Phoenix, so you can probably predict what's going to happen here. She's going along. I'm on my last. Now, so she drops. She did take a lot of damage. So the great thing about this, here, I'll just tell you in advance. She starts out with full health. She goes out, she gets worked down to 0 health. Then she hops back up because of this right here, because this vial, she's going to work down to nothing. Then she's going to regenerate some health and throw the spear faster. And simultaneously, that health, that's going to run out quicker than she's going to finish throwing her spear faster. But no worry, the Phoenix makes her invincible. So we get all of this ability. So as she's invincible, she can take all the damage in the world. Being that far in the base could be hit, activating bombs, with the Phoenix, knocking out some air mines. I will show all this here in a bit, and it's freaking glorious. And you don't have to worry about it. As soon as you run out of the invisibility spells, focus on the rest of your army because now she's going to take care of herself. She's self-sufficient. She's low health or high health. She's going to be taking out more weapon systems. She's going to drop health. She's going to gain health. She's going to drop that health pretty quick. Then she's going to turn invincible and guaranteed to hit a lot with that spear. And then she'll die. But it's okay because we're going to get her back. That revive spell is going to guarantee you, I think, 65 to 70% of her health back every time. So long past the days of you trying to mimic this attack and do the recall, and every time you recall her, your attacks vary. Did you recall a royal champion that has 100% health? Did you recall a champion that has 50%? Did she have 10% health? Now you know when you do the revive spell, you do lose the ability of placing her where you want. But we're going to 3-star base, right? So she's going to be at the right place, the right time, every time. So anyway, she goes in here, she's throwing her stuff real fast, and nothing's harming her because she's invincible. She's going to go ahead and finish out her attack. And then she's going to fall. Now, I'm going to kind of let this one play through, and like I said, this is a long video, but on the side that she pretty much destroys, so she destroyed this corner, is where you're going to drop your CC troops. So if I want to attack down here, I would have dropped my CC troops here. I chose to attack up here, so I'm going to drop my CC troops here. You want your CC troops on the side that she wreaked havoc on, okay? They're going to destroy some of these buildings. They're going to work. Remember in the last videos I said break the base down into 3 quadrants. Well, since I'm attacking up here, here's my left quadrant, my center lane, or my left flank, my center lane, and my right flank. So she took out already a lot of defenses on my left flank, so your CC troops aren't invincible. They're one of the weaker parts of your battle, but they can do parts of your army, but they can do really good damage if given the chance. So you got to drop them on the side that they're alleviated on the pressure. Okay, so on the side where she did work. You didn't get to see up here very well, but I dropped the golem first, the ice golem. You got to drop it first. It's meant to take all that damage. It is insurance. You drop that first, so that way you can drop your full army with virtually them not getting hit. I dropped my queen on the opposite flank of what you drop your CC troops. The reason for this is you're still going to have to work down the buildings on the other sides. And remember, the key, your king is king, okay? And he needs to go up the middle, okay? If you don't, we're going to do a quick small lesson, fundamental lesson. These buildings lined up here, they're a connect the dots thing. The king will go around every single time, and he's useless pretty much. 9 times out of 10, he's going to be useless. So you have to have something that destroys the buildings on your left flank. You have to have some stuff, which is my archer queen. I always put my archer queen opposite of my CC troops. She's going to clean up the buildings on that side, and then that's going to leave buildings in the middle, as we see. I'll explain the troops how I put them down later, but I want you to see the king first, okay? See, he's trying to go to the side, but my CC troops clean up, so they redirect him up the middle. Now, again, don't worry about everything else that's going on right now. Right now, I want you to focus on my king. That's the lesson. So the king is right here. He's going up the middle. He's going up the middle. And just as we're about to lose momentum because of walls, I hit his earthquake boots. That way he keeps the troops moving forward and busts a hole into the center of the base. So again, whatever corner your grand champion takes out, put the CC troops on that side. Put your queen opposite side. That's going to cover the buildings on the left and the right. That way when you put your army up the middle, your king and your army can focus actually going up the middle and punch in the middle, which is where the most bases have their highest defenses. Soon as the king gets in a little bit and is within striking range of the center of the base, pop his ability. That way he blows down the walls and all the troops can get in quickly. They have got to take out those high defenses. Time is of the essence. So they get in, and they're going up the middle. Like I said, my CC troops are covering the left flank. My queen's covering the right flank. The troops are kind of running around the outside a little bit. I'm sorry, let me restart this real quick. I'll fast forward, but there was a key thing I really wanted you to see that I did not pause it for. It was what I did with the Royal Champion. Sorry, I'm hitting a million buttons here. That I did with the Royal Champion afterwards. So here's the quick recap. We'll go ahead and fast forward. She comes in, and again, she's got the Phoenix and that final ability, and that Phoenix is going to guarantee you're going to get every bit of ability, every bit of value out of your Royal Champion. We dropped the CC troops on that side. We dropped the Queen on the opposite side. The army is going to go straight up the middle. I want you to see this one more time. The king comes down. He almost runs into this wall. I pop the ability, boom, takes out all those walls. Now all the troops can repath in. If you don't do that part, they're going to go around the outside naturally. It's a timing. Your king's got to be one of the first ones going in. Remember, in the last videos, I said your tanky troops need to be up front. So your golem and your king. I leave my king back a little bit if the buildings on the left and the right side are taking some time to go down, because I absolutely don't want them to go around the outside. But once I get him to go up the middle, soon as he's touched past the first, maybe second layer of walls, and he's within strike distance of the center, I pop that ability. That way most of the troops still will repath up the middle. Okay, so this is the part I want you to see. Then we'll go on to another attack. There's several things I want you to see. This attack and this whole thing really explains well how to use the Grand Champion, the Royal Champion, and how not to build your defensive base. I'll get that here in a minute. So anyways, remember, the Royal Champion worked down here and worked this whole corner away. Letting way for, see, if these guys, you drop them like D-Day at a freaking firing squad of defenses, you won't have this many wizards. I always have a lot of this stuff left here because I put them on the easy side, and then they gain momentum like a train, and they just wreck the flank that they're on. But anyways, what you don't want to do when your champion's down, a Royal Champion, is just revive her whenever, okay? She is a glass cannon, like I said. If you revive her in the middle of enemy territory, she's gonna fall fast. But if you wait till she's alongside your comrades, your team or whatever, then she comes back and is a second hero, if you will, with full value. So anyway, sorry, we'll keep going. Oh, actually this goes on a little. So see, these come in. I was focused on something else. Now would be a good time to pop it because yeah, see, so there I drop it. Boom, there's troops around. She's going to support the troops. They're going to take damage first. Now, she only gets a couple of these buildings, and these ultimately wipe her out. This wasn't the best play, but I still 3-star this base, no problem. So there's a lot of room for error. You just need to try to work on these. You'll see this a lot where really the base is broke down and a quarter is destroyed, and your main base kind of works an L shape around. But this is pretty much it, and I want to show you some more. The great thing about this is like I said, those healers. I popped my queen. Let me do this real quick. So my queen's ability's not popped yet. My troops are kind of damaged. You know, we're well through the base, so I probably lost a lot of troops. I'm gonna go ahead and pop the queen's ability here in a second, and you'll see I get 3 more healers. And my troops are up front, my root riders are still there. There's those 3 more healers. And now, really, I have more healing than the base has damage. So if you were to fight a very close base where you're about to lose everything, on that last turn, if you still have your healers, they didn't get taken out, and you pop your queen's ability, I've seen my troops come from almost like 8 troops totally dead back to full health by the time the base has been 3-starred. So once they turn the corner, it's great. Anyways, so that's that. Let's go ahead and watch a couple more of these. Before I do the final one, I want you to see something real quick that is, actually, let's go ahead and watch this one. This is going to be a great example of picking up that Royal Champion. I don't want you to focus on the rest of the attack. I'll cover that here in a little bit. We'll recap over the whole attack. I want you to solely focus on the Royal Champion here. Oops. Oh, sorry, not that one. That was that's a lesson we're going to do here in a second. But that is not the one I wanted you to see quite yet. Jeez, I clicked it again. Okay, it's the one below. The one below. Sorry, hopefully you guys bear with me. If you bear with me, I promise you this is rewarding. But I just don't have the time to edit videos. I'm sorry. So here we go. The Royal Champion has come in. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in for you. Already starting off bad for me. See, I'm not a freaking expert like that one dude who, I think that also comes with luck and very tedious focus on your Royal Champion. I don't really care. You know, my Royal Champion's already down to 30% health. I don't care because I'm still going to smoke this base. Sorry, I don't mean to seem cocky, but anyways, so right there, actually, let's restart this. I'm going to go ahead and we'll break it down piece by piece because this is a really good example right here of what your Royal Champion is capable of with the setup, how I told you we need to set it up. I believe it's this one. God, I want to go back through all this again. Yeah, here we go. We're going to go half speed. So she's already taken a lot of damage. She's at about 40% health. I dropped a spell, didn't go quite well. Dropped another one. She's hurting. And now she gained her health back. So that was the first fail safe. I made one error, and still with the with this ability, it bailed me out of my first error. My first error was she almost died, but this is going to make sure once she almost dies to regenerate like 30% more health and just start throwing the spear, which is phenomenal. It's better at the end if you do keep a lot of health on your Royal Champion because once she falls permanently and the Phoenix comes out, she's already deep in the base generally, and she can just take out like so many more defenses. You won't even notice it because when you drop your last invisibility spell, you should be focused on dropping the rest of your army. It's only when you replay your attack and look at your Royal Champion did you realize that she actually took down a lot more buildings on her last leg or last stand, and it's pretty impressive. So here we are. I made a mistake, but she recouped because of this right here. She's destroying all the buildings around her with electrical boots, which is my next lesson, the video I showed you by accident. I want you to see that. It's going to be freaking phenomenal. Okay, we can go a little faster here. We'll go regular speed. She doesn't even go towards the middle, no problem. She still takes out the corner. She goes down, but again, the Phoenix helps her. So she's just going to go ahead and harass the enemy even more. Look at this. Takes out a full 50 hero while she's technically supposed to be dead. That's great, you know. Put the Phoenix on her. There, she goes ahead and dies. And don't ever worry about the Phoenix. Don't calculate in the Phoenix doing any damage. If it does, that's icing on the cake. Really, we're going after the invincibility. I'm gonna fast forward this because don't worry about this. I want you to see something. So what's really good is if you can kind of path your troops to her, because watch, I pop the tome, she comes back with 70% health, and watch the health bar. Watch the health bar. It's ticking up. It's ticking up. Why, it's still ticking up. So she's gaining health. She's gaining health. She's gaining health right in the middle of the base. She's just about max health. So let me explain this one last time. I know I've hammered this home. You're talking about the Royal Champion, which is a powerful hero that has full 100% health. If you do this attack the way I'm talking, she's going to work through her full 100% health. She's going to gain like 30% back. She's going to work through that health. She's going to be invincible, which is countless health. And I'll show that in this next video. Like I said, I promise it's a good one. And then when you go revive her, she's guaranteed 70% health back. And then if you can just capture around that warden and pop that healing tome, she'll get possibly 100% health back. So you're talking about the value out of your Royal Champion versus dropping her alone somewhere and letting her die quickly. You're getting almost 3 heroes worth of health value back on her. She's devastating with that. But yeah, her health is full health right now. And she had died like 3 times over already, you know? She had died once, she popped 30% more health, died again, had to use invincibility, resurrected 70%, and now she's at 100% with the rest of the army, just wrecking havoc on this base. You know, I mean, look at her. It's pretty impressive doing it like that. You're really gonna enjoy your Royal Champion a lot more. Again, I don't like that recall spell. You can make too many errors and there's no room for error. You recall Royal Champion that's at 30% health and she's practically useless. You wasted a huge spell and a whole tactic because this way you're guaranteed for her to have just copious amounts of health. This continues on to a 3-star, and I don't know if we stop to really, if I show you, but this is I've been trying to hit maxed out bases so you can see my point. It's really hard when I'm trying to find bases that there's not a weapon system down or 2 or no CC troops. I did my best. I really scoured through a lot of stuff, but now this is the one I really want you guys to see. This is a treat. This one's cool. So this is the faith I have in this. It's so freaking great. Now check this base out real quick for me. This base is overcharged to the teeth, okay? It's maxed out. I'm not gonna sit here and try to waste your time on figuring out what defenses are down. I think there's virtually no defenses down, but you can pause the video and look. So we're looking at a maxed out Town Hall base with overcharged defenses. It doesn't get any crazier than this. I see these bases all the time, not war bases. This is just a fun side thing, where they leave an open hole as if I don't know what they're doing. That open hole is they want you to drop your troop there. But what they don't know is you want them to want you to drop your troop there. Because I know that there's poison spells there. I know that there's air defenses there. I know that there's hidden Teslas, bombs, everything they can throw at me. And I want it there. Because they will not put the Royal Champion down. They cannot put it into the ground. Not if you have it set up this way. Okay? And so what you're doing is they're focusing all of their hidden stuff that's going to bog you down through this game into one spot. And you get to activate all of it. Watch this closely. You may have to replay. I'll replay it twice for you guys. I deploy her. Bombs go off. Everything's hitting her. Her health's down to 30%. They're raging. They're raging their defenses because they expected to knock out your Royal Champion, but they can't knock it out. And now her Aurora boots, or electrical boots, sorry, is working on 360 degrees. If you drop your Royal Champion on the side, you're getting half the pie off the start. That's why you want to dig it further into the base. But on these, and this is also why I want to tell you, when you set up your base, just for looting or whatever. And if you watch when people attack you, every so many hours, don't bait them in like this, because people like me love that. And you're gonna look at your attack and all the hidden crap that you put out there to stop them and you think is gonna work, ain't gonna work. So don't put a hole in the middle of your base trying to bait people, because I go for that hole every time. I know it's there. Everything's there, and it's not enough to put her down. Anyways, she's still there, actually regaining health. I think she actually has an ability, now that I think about it, I don't know, y'all have to look through it, to regain health. Either way, she's back at 45% health for some reason. How many spells we got left? Let's go ahead and let this go. I need y'all to see a particular point that's very important. Okay, look at all them bombs. Look at all them bombs that hit the freaking, the Phoenix. That was like every air mine and air bomb they possibly could have. We're gonna watch that one more time, without me blabbering on too much. So my point is I put her there. You have to, when you're hovering over your phone or your tablet or whatever, you drop the freaking invisibility spell immediately. As long as you have her with those, as long as you have her with, as long as you have her with this right here and the Phoenix, it doesn't matter what they do. They're not going to kill her. And you're going to activate everything. You're going to activate all their spell traps, all their bombs, all their air defenses. And so when you actually launch your main assault, they got nothing left to really bog you down with. You want to use Hog Riders? Go for it. They done put freaking a zillion things in the middle of the base anyways. And generally you team up 2 large bombs. I'm getting kind of sidetracked here, but I love this stuff. So let's watch this again. Detonated everything. I'm sorry, it's kind of, actually, I'm gonna try it one more time. Let me focus on this, see if I can get it where you can watch. Watch closely. You'll see all the stuff detonate, and then we'll move on to something else. I'm gonna try to focus on this to time it just right for you guys. Okay, here we go. This is the last thing. She's going down. All them bombs. Because it came out. And she's still got her last defense. She's still got her last stand. She's over here blasting other stuff. Still alive. Still doing well. The whole base is descending on her, and it can't stop her. On a maxed out, overcharged town hall. Can't stop her. And then we'll go ahead and fast forward. Because we get in here. I use, the town hall's over here, so I use my main force over here. My Archer Queen, yet again, up pathing the right flank or opposite flank of my CC troops, which is clearing the left side. And then, here we go. So at some point, I think they come over. Now the non-glorious part about this is sometimes she does die where it just isn't optimal. It still can be very usable. If you're patient enough, you wait till the end of the battle, she's perfect every time. Sometimes she does die in the best spot for you. The game is a game of chance, unfortunately. But yeah, I use her right there because they're sidetracked for a second. She goes down. She does go down. That's not the best point I'm trying to make in this one, but the point of that, she can survive anything. So go ahead and have fun with this attack and piss people off. Drop in the middle of their town hall because they're welcoming you there. You know everything's going to be there. So take great joy in that. I want to leave you off with one last attack on this strategy. And it's my most recent one. And this way I can, now that you understand all the pros, you understand why I don't use the recall spell, why I don't have a billion more invisibility spells than 6 spells, why I use the things I do versus why I have the Spirit Fox on the Queen and not on the on the Royal Champion. This I would argue is the better way, even though most of the internet's going to show the other attack. Okay, so with this base, I actually was just going to attack and try to get loot, and magically today I wasn't going to use, I was going to use a different attack, but I really like this one because this one I actually found a base that's overcharged, super maxed out, and to my knowledge, again, you can pause it, I can't find a weapon system that's that's down for the count right now. So this is as close to those top tier bases that you're going to try to 3-star in wars. So let's go ahead and go through this step by step, and then we'll wrap up the video. I can't remember where I tacked, to be honest. Okay. So I drop her over here. I think because I want to wipe these guys out. She does path left. Again, what you really want to do is try to, you're going to have to roll with the punches a little, but drop her where major weapon systems are on the edge, if you can't get in the middle of the base. If you're really good, you kind of have that x-ray vision. You can kind of see which weapon systems are very close to one another, and you'll see which direction she's already going to walk. That's a talent too. And then you walk her there. You can also drop the if she almost has killed a weapon system in front of her, you can drop the invisibility spell on her rear end and covering that weapon system. And then the electric boots, as she runs past it, will go ahead and destroy that weapon system, and she can work on the next one. So you can get more value for your time and your invisibility spell. And that's what I do try to do generally. I don't think I have the greatest of examples here, but I think you can get the concept. So I like to think that since she's working this corner, I believe I'm going to drop my CC troops here because I always drop them in the corner that she works. And then I drop my main force here with my queen over here. That's how I do it every time. And I don't have this one quite memorized because I just did it earlier. Oh, there we go. Sorry, let me do this one more time. I'll fast forward to the point that I just wanted you to see. Okay, she's going in, she's going in, she's going in. We're going to go at regular speed. Her health's down about 50%. She's taking some damage, about 50%. She's gaining a little health. She's gaining a little health. Oh, she gets hit pretty hard. Boom, she gains back her health. Boom, she dies. She's invincible, and she's still attacking. Sorry, I have to keep restarting this for you guys to get every aspect. I can't cover everything at once. But we're going to work through it. Okay, so we go through all that. So at this point, I'm on my last invisibility spell. So I look away from her now, and I go ahead and deploy my CC troops on the same side, just like I said I probably would. I don't even look at her anymore. I revel in the glory after the 3-star. You'll love it. You'll love looking at what she does. She's freaking powerful. But don't focus on her. I know it's tempting to see what she's capable of, but once you drop that last invisibility spell, start to work and get your army out. Let her go ahead and do her own thing. So yeah, CC troops on the side that she worked down the most. Queen is now on the right flank, working the right side, far away from danger right now, so she don't need a golem in front of her. Drop the golem to go ahead and start eating the attacks. Drop the root riders after. Go ahead and drop your warden to start raging them root riders to get them up. You want to get holes. Not only do you want the buildings on the right and left side worked down, but you also want the root riders to go ahead and bust through the first layer of walls. That way the king has a clean way. He doesn't get confused and go back and forth. He goes straight up the middle. Deployed the Valkyries. Deployed everything else essentially. Everything but the minions. The minions are gonna, again, they're held back in case some buildings got left behind. We're going to drop the balloons and let them lead the way, and the healers behind them. That way the balloons will eat up mines. My healers will kind of go ahead of them, but you get the point. The king's here. I raged. I see him walking in. What I do when he hits the first wall? Boom. Blow down the walls, and now they can path in towards the town hall and work and keep their momentum, keep their speed. Keep going for all these, punch the middle essentially. Remember, this is where the Royal Champion's at. I have to wait for the perfect moment to revive her back. They're still working. I just popped the Queen's ability. I got 3 more healers, so I have a strong line of army. They're all going very, very strong right now. I got, my tanky troops up front. I got my Valkyries going. I got everything healing. The Unicorn is doing well, hanging way back. The Warden is a non-stop. Okay, here we go. This is what I want you to see. So this weapon system starts engaging these troops over here. I'm watching as these are already deployed. So I'm telling you what I'm doing now as I'm staring at my phone. They're already deployed. There's nothing else I can do. I already hit the Queen's ability. So I'm literally the whole time staring at this point right here. I'm thinking, as soon as these weapon systems engage other troops, I'm dropping the spell and bringing her back. Because one, the weapon systems are sidetracked, and you still don't want them, even though they're sidetracked, for those troops to die. So as soon as they get sidetracked, pop her and let her kill these weapon systems so it saves the other troops and saves her. These troops are getting worked. Watch, see, boom, drop her. She's not even getting hit. Of course, she's gonna get hit by the multi-inferno, but that's fine as long as she's not getting hit by every freaking weapon system. She's here, boom, boom, alleviating pressure for the army that's gonna come through and time where they have to work through everything. This is a little side army right here, you know. She's like special forces. So yeah, she knocked that out. And she wants some more. She's going to go over here, activate this bomb, so when the main army comes through, it's already cleared. She's basically a sapper for anybody who this is military. She just took that out and she died. But she did more than her work needed to be. And here we go. We'll just go normal speed. We got all of our healers because our balloons ate the air mines. We kept our healers back. And although I would like to see these two up, further, not getting sidetracked, our main force is here, and they're going to work through the rest of the base. And just if you're curious for the last thing, I'll go ahead and play this one more time, but in ×4 speed, so you can see as the base gets eaten away, basically. So we're going to do a high-level view, so get really close to your phones if you guys are old. Get your bifocals on. Sorry, it's just busting y'all's balls. Yeah, so she's working this corner, totally working, totally destroying the corner. Main army over here, this side's clear, that side's clear. He goes up the middle, just eating away the base. You got your little special forces unit, gonna hit the left flank a little more, but your army's working around in this nice L shape. That is, granted, not every weapon system is maxed out. Yeah, not every weapon system on here is maxed out, but this is pretty much about as maxed out of a town hall as you possibly can get. Everything's up and running. Everything's freaking overcharged just about. My army's maxed, sure, but I see a lot of people have a maxed out army and they're struggling to hit, number 10, number 12, number 13, or whatever on some of these. And I know some of the armies or some of the teams are strong, but if you can get this down. I mean, I had troops to spare, Like I said earlier in this video, when they make that turn, if them healers are still there, even if they're close to death, once they only have to worry about a small line of defenses, their health will start coming back. And you'll actually, at the end, end up with troops with max health, heroes with max health and stuff. So yeah, hopefully that was explanatory enough. I know I can't do a Q&A with you guys. But I really hope that helped you. I think this attack is dominant and everything, but I forget our team member. They totally showed me up a few weeks back, and I stole their base. It was awesome. So shout out to them. I really appreciate it. Just this one base, and that would be a whole nother video of its own. I couldn't figure out, but that's just because I'm not perfect at the game or anything like that. Somebody else could probably figure it out with this attack. This is a very solid attack, and hopefully I got my points across. If you guys got any questions, go ahead and go into Discord, drop the questions about this attack. And if it's something that's a big enough issue, I may do a secondary small video, or I'll try to answer the questions through Discord. But yeah, I hope everybody learned something. I hope you guys got motivated, reinvigorated for the game, excited about some of these things and to see it work out. And I hope you took something away and above all, enjoying the game still. So I appreciate it.